Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Soul Seekers podcast, where we believe that hunting has the power to transform lives through primal adventure as we share our mission of mentorship is conservation. To learn more about everything we do, check out our show on Carbon TV or go to soulseekersnation.com. Freedom on, everybody, and stay soulful. Do you want to become a better shooter, reduce flinch, protect your ears, and just overall enjoy shooting your gun that much more? Then there's no better way to do that than by adding a suppressor to the end of your barrel. Be sure to check out Huxwrx Safety Co, as they are a leader in the suppressor world with their OSS Flow-Through Technology, virtually eliminating blowback and toxic gas that can affect weapon system performance and shooter health. To find out more about Huxwrx, go to huxwrx.com. That's huxwrx.com, and go get yourself a suppressor for your upcoming hunts. This podcast is also proudly brought to you by OnX Hunt. When I first got into hunting, I kept hearing all about public land and different access and how to find different locations to hunt. I was like, well, how are people even identifying all this stuff? Well, sure enough, I came across the #1 hunting GPS app, and that is OnX Hunt. If you guys want to get better at hunting and go deeper into your scouting, OnX Hunt is the #1 GPS app for that. Join the millions of hunters who trust OnX Hunt to find more game, discover new access, and hunt smarter. It was a game changer for me, and I know it's going to be a game changer for you if you've never used it. If you have used it, you know the power that it holds. Guys, I really hope you enjoy this episode. If you want to know more about OnX, go to onxmaps.com/hunt. And check out their app. Be blessed, freedom on, and stay soulful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Soul Seekers podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Mack, and I am once again live at the Western Hunting and Conservation Expo here in Salt Lake City, put on by the Mule Deer Foundation. I'm joined by a wonderful human being and with a marketing person for Mountain
not
Tough
marketing. We call it business development. We do have a marketing director.
Okay.
But I'm here to help expand the reach of Mountain Tough Fitness.
I love
for
it.
Sure.
So
Yep.
Weston Paul's a guest. I got to chat with him. Everything when we talk about working out and hunting, they go so hand in hand.
Yep.
And more often than not, a lot of people always think physical activity ties into being physically tough. But the root of physical activity and the root of hunting is mentally tough.
Yeah.
Spiritually tough.
It's
so
ingrained in it.
Yes.
Big time.
So, Weston, what's your background in hunting? What's your history, your origin story?
For me, I grew up in South Dakota. My dad was a hunter. I have really fond memories of cutting up deer in the garage with him, like a little plastic knife when I was really little. And I shot my first deer at I think I was 12. It wasn't a great experience.
Okay.
I wasn't actually hunting with my dad. I was hunting with some friends, and I didn't really get the bug, needless to say. But I moved to Bozeman, Montana after college. My wife and I moved there in 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
And my father-in-law's from Michigan, and he's like, you need to hunt. You're in the heart of it. And I'm like, I know, but, yeah, it's Montana. I knew about it, all that kind of stuff. But little by little with his influence, and actually my next door neighbor, who was a hunter, I just started going with my next door neighbor. My father-in-law was like, you need to do it. I'm like, my next door neighbor, we started hunting, or I started hunting with him. He was really my intro. And I was hooked immediately. I was it was a combination of so many things that I love. I was a big skier, climber, mountaineer, and then the side of it that I was really fond of from my memories was cutting those deer up and then eating that deer in my childhood. So it all collided right there, 2006, 2007 for me. And I didn't kill a bull that first year. The next year I went with my neighbor. He killed a bull. I missed one. And I was just hooked.
Yeah.
I was just absolutely hooked.
Yeah.
And it was so fun to go out to these places that I would normally want to go and climb and ski as a little bit earlier in the season, and just go through them and see these crazy cool animals that are up
It's
there.
epic.
So yeah, it's stepping back into the Stone Age, honestly, dinosaurs. And that was rifle hunting. I picked up a bow then after that. And so, yeah, like that journey, like to 2010, 11, 12, all that, just like, and I'm in the hub of it. Like I have these people like Brandon, who's standing over here, who is like an incredible hunter, grew up doing it, and I met him. So like this network of people are shooting archery league, the Sitka guys moved to town, blah, blah, blah. That for me, like I embraced it. I was able to be a sponge to learn all of that from these people in combination with kind of my mountaineering, like backcountry experience. I was like, this is perfect for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm very proficient in the mountains. I have a lot to learn hunting wise. But yeah, then packing one out, I was like, game on. Yep, it's a little bit heavier, but I love this. I love traveling through the mountains, and
Dude,
I love feeding my family. I was
Dude.
like, my boys, 2 of them, I was like, I just made sure and made that same memory, and cutting elk up and deer and all of it to this day is really, really precious for us as well.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that like come full circle. So
Beautiful. So
Yeah.
I used to work at REI.
No way.
Dude, I was snowboarding, rock climbing, mountain biking, backpacking, like everything.
Yep.
That was before I started hunting. And so I remember one of the fascinating, this is a really interesting chasm between outdoors people and hunters.
Yep.
Is, in REI, it was so traditional for when someone walked in, be like, what adventure are you going on?
Yeah.
Like, tell us, like, let's engage. I used to sell backpacks, so I'd be like, dude, where's this backpack going?
Yep.
Tell me about it, and all this stuff. When I started hunting, I went in there, and I was like, guys, you won't believe it. I'm a hunter now. I got my hunting license. I'm going on a black bear hunt, and all of a sudden they were like, whoa.
Silence.
Yes.
Pure silence.
So the fact that you are bridging the gap, you're a conduit from the other outdoor activities into hunting, you have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders.
Yeah, big time. I'm like, just to be able to navigate that too and be conscious of where people are at in their journey and all of that too, and their opinions. Yes, I understand. But I feel like in hunting and in conservation in particular, like if approached accordingly and treated like with respect, those opinions and stuff, people start to get a bit curious, and you see more and more of them that are like, you know what, actually, that is truly all organic meat. Like, oh, I do understand. Like, and little by little, I love to see that. Not that that's my job or anything, but I do want to be conscious of where people are at.
I would say it's not your job, and it is your job.
Yeah.
It's our job. The royal we. Like it is for hunting to last for generations to come. It involves. That's why my mission is mentorship as conservation.
Yeah.
If you want it to last for generations, you got to invest in the lives of people.
Yep.
How do you invest in the lives of people? By holding space for them.
Yeah.
By allowing them to be curious. By allowing them to ask questions without judgment.
Yep.
To allow them to experience, because experience brings perspective rather than just opinion.
Absolutely.
And super powerful. And as we got an announcement over the intercom here in the show, so hang tight with me. So, Weston, how long have you worked for Mountain Tough?
I've actually been at Mountain Tough like as an employee for 8 months.
Sweet.
So I have not been an employee for very long.
Were you an end user?
I was. Dustin Diefenderfer founded Mountain Tough in 2016. I met Dustin and his wife Lindsay. She was pregnant with their daughter. We met them in 2011.
Yeah.
So, like, we were fast friends in 2011. They had their daughter, their first daughter, their second daughter. We had our first son, second son. Just really, really great family friends. Awesome people. Dustin's a big-time backcountry hunter. He's also a runner, which is actually how I met him at a trail race. And I was like, that's how we became, like, actually initially friends. He was a big-time runner. That was, 2011. In 2016, he's like, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to train hunters. And I was like, dude, you got like a really good job. Like he had like a really good job.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, it's a little risky, man, but laser focused on a mission, and he recognized that no one was training backcountry hunters as specific as they needed to be trained. Like year round, how can we train a backcountry hunter so they're more prepared for that hunt that they're going to go on? And he, being a student of the game, like literally his entire life, he had a process in mind, and he quit his job, and I started doing these training programs with him like right away. I was like, shoot, yeah, you're my buddy. I love to run. Kind of getting at a point in my trail running career too, where I was like, I'm spending a lot of time running, and I definitely need to spend more time with my family. I'm kind of breaking down in these areas too, and sure, hunting like came into play, but for me more so it was like trail running and like all around durability. And so his programs are a great supplement for me. While I was testing his hunting programs, they were proving to be very beneficial to me in my running.
Interesting.
So less mileage, a little bit more time in the gym doing these very specific programs, and he was able to launch these backcountry hunting programs individually. He launched them. He sold individual programs that have been tested while he was personally training us as groups, like 3 times a day throughout the course of the week. We have all kinds of classes going on. And I was just going like on my lunch break and going and doing these workouts with him. Or I'd coach one in the morning or this and that. But in that testing and him launching these programs, he launched them in like a learning management system. Like you'll find that with like a lot of these outdoor education classes now. You'll go into a learning management system. You'll come in, you'll watch a video, you'll get the coursework. Maybe you take a test, this stuff. So he did that. And about a year ago, he launched all of the programs that he developed in a native app, actually. So that Mountain Tough Fitness Lab now is a full-on app. You download it, you get access to all the programs. You go and you pick according to like if you're just starting, or if you have access to a gym, or you don't want to use a gym at all and you don't want to use gear. Just programs really specific to the end user that have all been tested in this process since 2016, which is really wild. Like when it comes to a scientific method, it's like, yeah, here's my hypothesis. Like I'm going to test it. We're actually going to find these results, and then we're going to tweak our hypothesis, and then we're going to test it again. So
fascinating.
Yeah.
They're like proven.
Yeah.
So I played. By the way, we have a lot in common. So
Yeah.
I also was a trail runner.
Yeah.
2020, I was supposed to run my first 100-mile.
Yeah.
And COVID canceled it 2 weeks before my race.
Oh, man.
And since then, because time intensive.
Yep.
Having kids, I'm like, okay, well, that was my one shot at this. I don't want it bad enough to go back and hit it again. Like that was my time, and then, I have other life goals.
Totally.
What's up, Soul Seekers Nation? Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I really appreciate it. As a reward, I have some discount codes for you to use if you are in the market for a brand new hunting pack. Go check out initialascent.com and Initial Ascent packs. They are made in America. Their one-piece carbon frame is an absolute game changer. We run their packs. We love them. And you can save 5% at checkout by using the code SOULSEEKERS. That's all one word. Also, for those of you who are archery hunters and you are tired of shooting at dots on a target, check out deadnutsoutdoors.com for their lifelike 2D archery targets. You can save 20% on all of their products by using the code SOULSEEKERS at checkout. Once again, the code is SOULSEEKERS, all one word. Go check out initialascent.com and Dead Nuts Outdoors. Enjoy the podcast. So I have a trail running history, but I also was a college football player.
No way.
So I played quarterback at Division II school, Central Washington.
Yeah.
Played college lacrosse. And so I have this, weightlifting background of like, slamming clean, squats, bench, clean, squat, bench, like hitting the major muscles, deadlifts. But as an adult, lifting heavy weight, it sucks. Running. It sucks. We're inherently lazy because we're putting out energy towards other things.
Yeah.
That the last thing that we do is to really like take care of ourselves.
Yep.
However, if we are our own best enemy, worst enemy, all that, and we only have this body one time. And on this podcast, I always say, It's all about what you want.
Yeah.
If you want something bad enough, you're going to get it. So where do you fall and place things in your desire?
Yep.
I want to be a great husband and father. That is at the top of my list.
Absolutely.
So therefore, I'm not running another 100 because I know how time intensive that was.
Yep.
And, like certain things go in order, and then you don't worry about it.
Right.
Physical fitness and nutrition needs to be the foundation.
Yep.
Not the top of the pyramid, but
Yep.
the foundation of who we are.
Yep.
And spiritually as well, right? It's not just there's a saying, as within, so without.
Yep.
Right? And so holistically approaching our everyday.
Yeah.
Well, you were telling me a little bit earlier when we started talking that Mountain Tough is built in that manner.
Yeah.
It's not just a workout.
Yep.
It is an experience. For people it's a mindset shift, right?
Yep.
Tell us more about that.
It's really evident in backcountry hunting and kind of our style of hunting that those individuals who have that mental fortitude, have that mental toughness, are oftentimes the most successful in their hunts, but they're also very satisfied with the experience overall. Like, they're not easily defeated when things aren't going the way they want them to. They understand that things will change if they stay persistent and stay diligent. And so in seeing that, that's in the backcountry hunting community, but you see it in a lot of places too, like that mental toughness. When you look at like some of the groups, say in the military, like some of those top tier groups, like that's ingrained. That's something in their culture too, that they're able to go and execute on that mission and stay focused on it no matter what is occurring. So within the Mountain Tough programming, we just started building it in. And there's these little challenges in the programming that you're like, I really don't want to do this right now, but we're coaching the athlete to make it through it, to push themselves a little bit harder than they normally do. And then we're also saying, this is the reason you're doing that. We're subtle in it because we're like, the reason you're doing this is so that you're better on that hunt. The reason you're doing that is so that you don't bonk and fail out when you have a really steep climb or really a whole bunch of deadfall.
Anyone that's worth their grain of salt in hunting knows that you have to know your target.
Yes.
Because if we just shoot without a target, then we're never going to hit.
Exactly.
We're never going to be successful.
Yeah, what's your mission? Like, you need to strive for that. Along the way, there's like these mental hacks that you can do. And in our program, we're just trying to pass that along to people. Stuff that we've learned through our experiences, others that we know too that have shared that with us. And it's like I said, it's really subtle in the app, and before you know it, you're pushing yourself further than you thought you could before. And it's amazing to see people who find that and they've never known that about themselves before. Because
can you give us an example, a little teaser of like what?
Yeah, like in the app, you'll find there's times where you'll end up doing wall sits, and we'll all flash back to like doing wall sits in like middle school and junior high and stuff like that, and you're like, oh my gosh, if you look like, I guess that's what they were trying to do in PE back in the day, is make us tough. But wall sits are really hard. As a grown adult, like, they're incredibly hard. Your legs are shaking, and you're like, there's no way that I can make it through 5 minutes of sitting on a wall, right? And as you go through a program, we'll lead you into that. You'll be doing a minute with a break, and then another minute, and then you'll be doing 2 minutes. And before you know it, by the end of a program, you'll be doing 5 minutes of wall sits. And people literally are just blown away that they actually did that, because that's a big feat, to do that. But then in like day-to-day life, we just had a couple that stopped in here. I saw the Mountain Tough hat. There was a couple and their little girl.
Yeah.
And they came over and we were talking, and they were saying, thanks for the app. We love it. This gal, she's battling Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I'm like, even for me, like, I get goosebumps. I'm like, as I'm hearing the story, I'm like, I am actually tearing up. I'm seeing the emotion in it. And Mountain Tough, in its subtle little way, has helped them immensely, because as a couple, they're going through a hard thing. They would just do these workouts together.
Yeah.
They go through it. They go through the mental toughness, like a 10-day course together. And they pulled up the phone and showed me while she's battling cancer, she was able to harvest a bull and pack this bull out herself. Her husband's like, I'm going to do this. And she's like, no way. And he had actually his water bottle with the Mountain Tough sticker on it. And he had taken a picture at that time, and he just showed it to me. And I was like, the thing is that life is going to throw a whole bunch of stuff at you. And in this app, it's a hard workout, whatever, it's a hard program. What you're learning is how to handle the real hard adversity. I say hardship with a P.
Not
the real hardship. Like that life's gonna throw at you, because that's what you really like. A lot of people, we're all gonna struggle. We're gonna have like a lot of harder things than a workout.
Okay, so this is I love where you're going with this. So one of the things that really, oh man, dude, Weston, you and I got so much in common that there's so much I want to say. I'll say this.
We're gonna probably have to talk again.
I know. In life, treat it like a gas tank. At what point, this goes for nutrition and difficulties. At what point is your tank full and you able to just continue on before you have to refill up?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, people don't know what hard is until what hard really is. They always just think hard is hard. Oh, it's hard. Well, how hard was it? How empty are you?
Yeah.
How much do you actually need something else? Because if hard was passing a spelling test, like, that's not that hard, right? Or if hard was speaking up where you knew you were not the majority, like, that's hard.
Yep.
But what is hard, and a lot of human beings in society these days can't quantify that for themselves. They don't know what hard is.
Yep.
So everyone is like, dude, how could you run 100 miles? How could you run 100 miles?
Yep.
Like, I don't know. You just do it.
Yep.
Right? So my good buddy Tony Ellersick is sitting right over here. He always loves this quote. He goes, you told me one time, how do you eat a whole elephant? One bite at a time.
Yeah.
You just do it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Whether it's mini goals, with larger goals, with further goals, or going on to, like, the whole gas tank thing. But did you die?
Yeah.
Right? The saying, like, well, did you die? Like, you're not all the way gassed out.
Totally.
You have more to give. But people, they like to live in that 3/4 full place. And
we think we do.
Or
we think we do. Oftentimes. It's really, really true. I think in hunting in general, we're really fortunate to be able to have these challenges come at us through the experience.
Right.
And we were just talking about it the other day too. I mean, we talk about this stuff a lot, but it's like, do you remember how much pain you were in on that hunt?
No, not at all.
No one does. Like, literally no one does. Yeah. You remember that experience, and you do draw off that it was difficult and you made it through it.
Yeah.
And that whole experience is what you remember, but you don't remember that pain.
No. So my very first big game hunt, 9 miles deep in the backcountry, killed a bear, had no experience other than, like, I got to get this in a freezer very quick. It's August, 90+ degrees. I packed out the bear hide, the skull in the hide, all the meat bone in. In my backpack. Now, at the time, I didn't have, like, these hunting specific packs. Like, Initial Sense, one of our
you had your REI pack.
Had my REI pack. Everything went straight to the bottom of the bag. 9 miles packing out that bear is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Now, at that point, I was also I played college sports. I was training for my first marathon, and people think marathons are like this unattainable goal. It's like, no, how fast you want to complete it, that's more like realistic. But ultimately, I was thinking this marathon was going to be hard. But I ran that marathon a month after I packed out that bear, and I was like, dude, that marathon was easy.
Yeah, in
that
comparison.
Bear, yes, that bear was, and to this day, it's still the hardest thing I've ever done.
Dude.
And
yeah.
I would do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. You turn and burn and do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat, yeah.
So,
after going through it.
So this Mountain Tough, you're building the mental fortitude.
Yeah.
On top of the physical attributes.
Yep. Like,
and touch a little bit on the soul. Like what is you? I saw you had that specific program.
Yeah, it's in the app. It's called Live Untamed, and it's how to develop a healthy soul. And for us too, like, you know, we just understand that an individual, it's like having a stool, like having 4 legs on a stool. Like, we want to make sure that, yes, physically, that you're equipped, right? That mentally you're equipped. That's that mental toughness.
Mm-hmm.
And nutritionally you're equipped too. Like, that's a big portion. But we just understand that your soul is really, really important. Probably like the most important. Yes. In filling a gas tank to like your soul health overall. You need to fill that cup. You need to fill that tank. And a lot of people don't think of it that way.
No. It's like we could be the most physically fit human being.
Yep.
We're regimented on our diet. We're regimented on our fitness.
Yep.
But we're depressed.
Exactly.
And because of that, we're not accomplishing the things we want to accomplish.
Yeah. And everything is tied to each other. Like, like the fitness side, like the good endorphins, like your mental health from that. Like, there are the benefits too, but you also need to take time to rest.
Yeah.
Like, you really do.
So I was a health teacher.
Yeah.
I taught middle school health and physical education, ironically. So you're talking about wall sits, it makes me chuckle. Because I got a whole talk on that. But SPICE-V, it's the 6 aspects of health and wellness.
Yep.
And if you treat the 6 aspects of health and wellness like the spokes of a wheel, we are the wheel, and we're going down the road of life. And in the road of life, there's bumps and rocks and dips and turns, and it's difficult. It's not a smooth road.
Yep.
If we have all 6 spokes supporting our wheel, we're able to overcome, ride it, and just keep cruising.
Yeah.
And those 6 aspects: the spiritual aspect of health, physical aspect of health, intellectual, emotional, social, and then vocational. So like whatever we do as work, we want it to be rewarding and fulfilling.
Yep.
And if we can constantly hit each 6 of those every day, our life is going to be more fulfilling.
Yeah, big time.
So I love hearing that the fitness program is not just, hey man, did you do your push-ups?
Yes.
Did you do your planks?
It's like it is so wonderful to be able to have that element in it, and it's like I said at the beginning too. It's subtle. Like, we sneak it in there, and then all of a sudden you're in it, and you're just like, and we watch it time and time again, and people are just like,
because if you lead with it, people resist.
Oh yeah.
They're like, I don't want that woo-woo stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want, like,
Yep.
No. What is Last Samurai, where he's talking to Tom Cruise? The guy's like, too many minds, one mind.
One mind.
Like, people don't want. We need to focus, And when we focus and we remove the distraction, we remove the buzz. We accomplish things, and we need to make sure that we lead with the correct foot for all people. Because what's right for you isn't necessarily what's right for me or what's right for them, and we need not to baby them. We're not babying people.
No.
But we want their success.
Yeah.
So how do we get you to where you want to go and support you on your journey?
With the fitness side too, because this has like been a lot of my experience, and then with Mountain Tough too, it's like fitness just opens up a portal. Like, once you do this and you do it well and you gain that confidence from it, what it does is it creates more capacity for you to handle the next thing.
Yes.
So in trying to be a well-rounded individual, like, once you do that, once you finish a program in Mountain Tough, you're going to be like, all right, I want to do another program. And pretty soon that becomes your routine, your habit, and you're like, I'm better at work all of a sudden.
Right.
Why? Because
Right.
you're doing this and it's opening up and creating more capacity for you to handle more.
So a lot of people are always this, then that.
Yep.
So I went to a leadership conference in California where I invested in myself. Cost a lot of money, a lot of time intensive. It's
Yep.
very experiential. And what they talked about is that you are growing your plate. We call it stretching.
Yep.
We learn to stretch ourselves. A lot of people are like, oh, there's not enough time in the day, or I don't have enough time to work out. I don't have enough time to read. I don't have enough time for my wife. I don't have enough time for my children. I don't have enough time for.
Yep.
Take all that, identify what you want, and then if you want it bad enough, you'll make time because we learn to stretch.
Yeah.
We stretch ourselves.
Yep.
We are only given one plate. We need to make our plate be enough.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be full.
Yeah.
It can be large. It is not immediate, and
No.
it's the process. Like it's the process of all of it.
They always say trust the process.
Yeah, like it's I'm like I love just like make a plan and then throw it out the window, because the process of making a plan is what is so important, that you actually went to that extent of actually doing it and saying this is what I'm going to commit to. But then it changes and you're
Totally.
like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like I'll adapt, but I did step into this with a plan. Yeah.
New Year's resolutions.
Yep.
Right. Being mountain tough, the gym mentality. Like
Yep.
there's this. All right, January 1st hits. It's time for a new year, new me. But ultimately, like growing pains are so real that if people won't even go through the process of writing down
Yeah.
what they want, like that's talk about a mind shift.
Yep.
You want to get fit or you want to get healthy, but you won't even take 5 minutes to reflect on what it is that you actually want
Mhm.
and then actually pen it to paper.
Yeah, you're not going to do it.
No.
Yeah.
People won't do it.
The,
I'll get
the
to it. I'll
stats
get to it.
are the data proves it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you go through these processes and you're master of the small wins.
Yep.
Win the moment.
It's one of those. I was listening to a podcast. Around around habits, and I hadn't really thought about it this way, but it's like make a habit of flossing your teeth every day, right? Like stuff that we as grown adults know we should do. We do it. No,
No, I don't
but if you
floss very
commit
well.
to it,
I know it sucks.
and you do it, like you're like. You gain that confidence. You're like, yeah, I did it. I stuck to the plan.
Yeah.
That's a good New Year's resolution.
Mhm.
Just something like little
Yeah.
to go and do. On the fitness side, there's an intimidation factor for any of us to commit to a fitness regimen, to commit to running a marathon or 5K for that matter.
Right.
Like there's an intimidation factor. A lot of it has to do, I think, in my experience, of not really having a plan as to how I go about it. So that's where you look into a 5K plan, or you look into those resources that can provide that to you.
What about this? What about the failure aspect?
Yeah.
People are afraid to fail,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So because I'm so afraid to fail, I won't even start.
Yeah. I'm like paralyzed because of failure from past experiences or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, that's where when you tie in the hunting side, I'm like, guess what you're going to do?
Yeah.
You're going to fail.
Right.
And you're going to need to recover. And you need to fail again.
Yes.
And those are the kind of lessons that we get from hunting that then teach us, like, yeah, I can handle failure,
Right.
and I don't need to be paralyzed by it,
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Which I'm like, I love hunting for that, because those are lessons.
Uh-huh.
On the fitness side, too, like, being afraid of failure, or we live in a really crazy world where there's a lot of comparison.
Judgment.
Yeah, like, and it's like, and don't do that to yourself. Like it's hard because it's all around us and we see it, but you are adequate and you are not a failure.
You
Yeah.
are enough.
Yeah, you're enough.
That
Yep.
statement, when I got told that one time,
Yeah.
like, you're enough. You don't have to strive for anything.
Yep.
You're enough who you are.
Yep.
You are loved. You are important.
Mm-hmm.
As humanity, that is the root of everything that makes us tick.
Yep.
Do we feel loved? No. How do we want to feel loved? Yes. So what are we going to do? Well, we go find these things that
We
make
think.
us feel loved or
Yeah.
think we feel loved, and we chase it.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you are enough.
Mhm.
We are enough. You listeners, you are enough. And not or, not but, because if we say but, that it makes everything that I just said irrelevant.
Yep.
It's an and. You are enough and you can have more.
Yeah.
You're enough and you can stretch your plate.
Yep.
You are enough and you can have goals. I love it. Dude, you're speaking my language,
I
man.
am the same too. I'm like that. These are things that are really big, and I think we all have a mission in life to be able to try to share those experiences with others, because there's an opportunity for people to see, like, yeah, that's a little bit of my story, and that's a little bit of my story, and that's where, too, in just a brief period of time, and understanding what you all do, of sharing that with people, and bringing them in and helping them recognize that in themselves, because this is a really long process. I'm guessing for you and for myself included, to like go and reflect on what we've learned in life so far, and how we can use that to help other people too.
Absolutely.
I'm like, it's incredible, because I mean, even for me with like, my boys, like they're 12 and 8, and there's so many things that I'm like, I want to share with them sooner than later, because my parents did a great job, but they didn't have as many experiences as I've had thus far in life to share with me. And I'm like, I have a boatload, and I've got a network and a community of people that have a whole bunch. Let's share these with you. And the same goes for people who maybe have never experienced that before.
Totally.
It's like, that's what you all do.
Yeah.
And I think it's so cool. I'm like,
you get me all
like,
jacked
instantly
up, brother.
intrigued.
Let's go.
Yeah. Let's go.
A couple things I want to say to tie into what you said.
Yep.
So one of the greatest conservationists in the hunting world, President Theodore Roosevelt.
Yep.
He is famously quoted for saying, "Comparison is a thief of joy."
Mhm.
The minute we compare our lives to other people, it steals our joy.
Yep.
And we need to find our joy within ourselves and be enough for ourselves.
Yeah.
So that when we are enough for ourselves, we're enough for our spouse. We're enough for our children.
Yep.
We're enough for our employer. And we can still grow, right?
Right.
Because either you're getting better or you're getting worse. There's no stagnation.
Yep.
Because either people are passing you or you're passing them.
Yep.
And with that being said, inward reflection leads to outward correction.
Yeah.
But if you never take the time to inwardly reflect,
Mhm.
you're never going to get the outward correction. That is why hunting, the podcast is transforming lives through primal adventure.
Yeah.
Because it's a transformation. When you go out in nature, you pause. You're still. You reflect. You're removing the buzz of society. And you are laser focused on one goal. Everything else becomes clearer.
Yeah.
The weight is lifted. And all of a sudden it's like, I can come up for air and I can breathe for the first time. And like, why do you love hunting so much? You're a killer. Well, yeah, I like killing, or I like this. And I feel more alive in the mountains or out in the wilderness or wherever more than I ever do anywhere else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's that ability to focus in on that one thing and not be thinking about the rest of the people call it mindfulness or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that is, man, as far as hunting goes, that happens so frequently on those trips. Sometimes you can miss it and start thinking about something else. And two, that's when you'll see like things will change in front of your very eyes, and a shot opportunity won't be a shot opportunity anymore. I was like, even on some of these like little short workouts too, when you get into a routine, you'll find that as well. You'll find that you're so in the zone of accomplishing like this one simple thing in front of you. And it happens for a split second, but the more you do it, the more that happens.
Right.
And just to clear your mind of that stuff, the only other place that happens for me is like running really long distances.
Yeah.
And it's not like, it's a point at which I'm like, I'm just flowing through this, taking in what I'm seeing right here and appreciating it so much. Yeah.
Do you like to read?
I do like to read. I have almost narcolepsy, so it's hard for me to
Just face down
I
the
listen
book.
to a lot more
Audiobooks?
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Audiobook for you.
Yeah.
The Untethered Soul.
Okay.
Michael Stringer, I think. I could be wrong. I don't remember authors that well.
Yep.
A New York Times bestseller.
Okay.
talks about your inner voice.
Yeah.
Because we always, and ties in 100% to fitness,
Mm-hmm.
is we have this voice inside our heads that we have dialogue with. We talk to ourselves
Yep.
more often than not.
Yep.
People don't even realize that they're talking to themselves. So who is it that we're actually talking to? And that only happens when I'm hunting or when I'm long distance running, because it's like, oh, stop. No, I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. Oh, and then it goes back to, what do you want?
Yeah.
Fascinating. Dude, we're going
Yeah.
full philosophical psychology
I
on
mean,
this one.
no, and I wish I had read more too, but I'm like, I don't know. I guess listening to it does count. I guess I could say I have read by listening, but
Yeah.
I love that process. I love all the learning too that you can do on setting out on any journey.
Yeah.
Too. It's just like you educating people like that haven't done these sort of outdoor pursuits and haven't done those sort of hunts. I'm like, the journey and all of that and all those things that you can take from that experience and then apply to other places of your life is like, those are extremely, extremely valuable. Yeah.
In your life, can you recall something that was life changing for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it, just briefly? Like,
Oh, right off the bat, like for my wife and I, we did Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover.
Yeah.
And it absolutely changed our lives. Like we were married a couple years, and we did that, and it was like, I could not believe how immediate it was that changed the trajectory of our life.
Right.
Yeah. Like that's a quick one.
Was it something that you chose, or someone said, "Hey, take a look into this"?
It was it was somebody that said, take a look into this. Yeah.
Now, thank you.
Yep.
You just hammered my point home.
Yep.
That is why mentorship is conservation.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going to spark the fire in someone's life and
Yeah.
then absolutely change them and set them on a brand new
Oh,
course.
I still give that as a wedding gift to newlyweds, because I was
Yes.
like, if you can do this right away,
Yeah.
it will. I mean, I know for a fact it will change your
Yeah.
life. Otherwise, I'm like, give it back to me. I'll give it to somebody else. But I guarantee
Right.
you. Yeah.
Dude, Weston, I could
Yeah.
have this podcast going for a long time. We're obviously going to have to get back on for
Yeah,
for
I think we
another
should.
episode. We got a lot to cover.
Yeah, I think just to be able to learn a little bit more about you all and what you're doing, and two, for you all, I want to get you guys into the Mountain Tough app
Yes.
too, and just see what you think overall, because obviously we're fans of it and we know that it does change people's lives. We want you to experience
You
that
can't
too.
sell
So-
something you don't believe in.
Yeah.
And it's more often than not easier to sell something. And we're always selling something. Whether or
Yeah.
not people want to consider anyone sells, we're constantly selling ourselves
know.
to society.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm selling myself to you. Do you like me? Do you not like me?
Right.
Do you want to hire me? Do you not want to hire? We're
Yep.
constantly selling. So I totally agree with that. What does, price-wise, we'll talk about, like,
Yeah.
how do people find Mountain Tough? And then what are the dollars and cents? Is it monthly subscription, annual?
Yeah.
What is it?
There's an annual subscription. It's $239 for an annual subscription, which is 67 cents a day. Like, and just to put that in perspective, like, I love gear and I love stuff just as much as anybody else, and I'll geek out on it too. But an investment in yourself is something that oftentimes people don't think about. Like,
Yes.
you can invest in yourself, and I'm not saying that a fitness app is what you need to invest in, but take the time to buy that book, to take that course, to go and push yourself in that direction, as you are your best investment.
Yes.
For sure. We do have a monthly option as well, but we want to get people into it ultimately. Like,
And
just-
then is this like a coaching call, like a one-on-one, or is it just all app-led, or like questionnaire, and then it steers you towards a certain workout?
It's all app-led. So once you get into the app, we try to outline and help you to pick a program. We're not asking you a series of questions in that, but we're outlining kind of the path for most people to go through, just because we've tested it so many times and we know where you need to start. So that's baked into the app overall. It is fitness, and sometimes that can be a little bit intimidating, yes, as we talked about. But we really want to encourage people to go in and commit to something. So even something like, if you're just starting, our on-ramp program is 3 days a week. It's body movement. It's amazing the confidence you gain from committing to something 3 days a week. And we'll tell people sometimes too, it's just like, do the 14-day trial, just turn it on and don't do it. Just turn it on and see what's going on, and they'll inevitably do it because we all have that ability to push ourselves way further than we know. Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Are you guys nutrition-based as well, or is it mostly focused around the physical fitness?
It's mostly around the fitness, but we do have a nutritional program within it. It is focused around backcountry nutrition, so preparing people for a hunt and calorie counter and all that kind of stuff.
This is a podcast all within itself.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Like, oh, I'm a backcountry hunter. I'm going to prepare, plan, train.
Yeah.
And then the stuff that a lot of people will put in their backpacks. You know what I'm talking about?
It's the same as running. Like,
yes.
And you're like,
I was eating Oreos. Double stuffs.
Yeah.
They fit in my pocket. I was like 200 calories, whammo, and then take off.
I'm burning that. Yeah.
Brother, I really enjoyed this talk. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on the show.
Appreciate it for sure. I'm so pumped that we were able to connect with you all.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see your mission and see you all grow and impact more lives too.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
appreciate
it's
it.
really cool.
Well, listeners, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you for tuning in. If you liked it, share, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, share it with your community, because it only takes a spark to start a fire, and before you know that, this whole world is ablaze. Remember that hunting has the power to transform lives through primal adventure, and that mentorship is conservation. I'm Johnny Mack. Thank you for tuning in to this episode. Be blessed, freedom on, and stay soulful. If you enjoyed today's podcast and want to support the show, you can always like, share, subscribe, and leave a rating, as it helps us share our mission of mentorship is conservation. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of Soul Seekers Nation as we transform lives through primal adventure. If you want to get more connected with the podcast, check out the Soul Seekers Nation Facebook group, as I look forward to connecting with you on the next episode. So stay tuned and stay soulful.